Tomorrow, the sentencing trial will resume for Nicholas Cruz, who last year pleaded guilty to murdering 17 people at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, back in February of 2018. This kind of trial is rare. Most mass shooters either take their own lives or take plea deals. But this is high stakes, with the death penalty on the line. For the families and the survivors testifying and watching, this kind of hearing can be painful and re-traumatizing. They sometimes need extra help from a special source, man's best friend. Here's my special report. These pups have a job to do, and they're some of the best in the business. This summer, they're in high demand. They're special clients who are more like friends, depend on them when things get tough. Survivors of the Marjory Stoneman Douglas school shooting have been in and out of court this month, reliving the worst day of their lives. That trauma brought to the surface once more. But there's comfort if they want it.
They don't judge. They don't ask questions. They don't ask you a million times, how are you feeling today? They just want to be with you.
Volunteers from Canine Assisted Therapy bring their dogs to the Broward County Courthouse to provide emotional support. And for Parkland families, their furry faces are familiar. Take Emma, a rescue from Puerto Rico, who has been working as a therapy dog since she was a puppy.
She has been there since day one, started with crisis response, actually that night.
In February 2018, a former MSD student took an AR-15 into his old school and opened fire. The deadliest high school shooting in United States history. 14 students and 3 staff members were killed that day. Having dogs on the scene in an official capacity was so helpful that volunteers moved fast. The next day, students reeling from that horrific tragedy got River, a Bernedoodle puppy who became the school's official therapy dog.
That was a terrible, scary time.
Diana Haneski was trapped in the library for hours that day with 50 kids. It was a long road back to a new normal, but she had help. Adopting River was a no-brainer.
She's peaceful like a river, but also, you know how the river makes things a little better, it smooths out the rocks and everything, and we needed a lot of that kind of attention, and we're getting it from her.
For the past 4 years, River has been coming to school every day, sitting in on classes, there to interact with students when they need her, or simply acting as a calming presence. Eric Garner is a teacher at MSD. He was there that day, too.
It's everything to me, because not every day is perfect for us. And when we're having those bad days, having River come in and just be able to hug you, give you, a River kiss, it's great. It's wonderful.
As long as they have the right temperament.
Exactly.
They don't even need...
Like most professionals, becoming a therapy dog requires a solid education. And they can work their way up to the crisis canine level, where they undergo mental health and trauma training for intense situations like a mass shooting. Some were sent in after the shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, and to comfort first responders in the aftermath of the Surfside condo collapse here in Florida. After 4 years, the Parkland community is in the final chapter of this life-altering tragedy.
Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
There have been marches, calls for change so loud they galvanized millions. There have been graduations, too. Survivors turned activists, moving on to their next big thing. And soon, there will be justice. Until that sentence is handed down this fall,
We are here. We are in the courthouse. We are here for whoever could use and need a little bit of therapy, dog love.
oh, she's like all in a day's work with that yawn. I want to thank the volunteers at Canine Assisted Therapy here in Florida, not just for letting me shadow them for the day, but for all of the work that they do day in and day out. They are not only there for the Parkland students and the families, but for lots of other people who need that special canine comfort. So thank you to the handlers and to the pups for everything that you do.